for the sake of making it go. I got a couple hours. I am currently on location in Sin City, Las Vegas, and I will likely be out in the City of Angels tomorrow. But I did want to come in here and talk to you folks because apparently multiple allies, multiple allies have taken upon the commitment of being willing to challenge Trump and by a greater degree us all, being the United States. And that is France, the United Kingdom, which obviously would include Great Britain, England, and Scotland, Ireland, the United Kingdom, and Germany, along with Denmark, have now all placed soldiers in Greenland. So they are ready to use whatever assets they have to go up against the big bad United States. Now, I gotta ask. Now, we obviously, I know many of us feel that the United States can handle any military on Earth, but the question we need to be actually addressing is, can we handle multiple militaries simultaneously? If we are to go against Germany, France, the UK, Denmark, and keep in mind, because they've been allies with us for such a long period, they know a lot of our tactics. They know a lot of what we have. But it does appear as if they are willing to fight to whatever level they can to defend Greenland. So what I want to ask you folks to start the program off um, is Greenland worth it? Is the acquiring of Greenland, the nation of Greenland, is that worth the troubles it is leading to? Because even if we do ultimately acquire Greenland, the nations I just mentioned, the UK, Germany, France, Denmark, all of those relationships are lost. All of those relationships are lost. So, to rephrase the question, is Greenland worth acquiring if we lose our strongest, most formidable allies in the process? Would Greenland be worth that? The tactical location of Greenland, the strategical position, the strategic position of Greenland, the things you're hearing Trump talk about, the rare earth minerals, the lithium, the resources that Greenland have. If we were to acquire Greenland, is it worth losing most of our European allies in the mix? Because obviously there are benefits to being allies with those nations as well. So is it worth the trade? Because at this point it's pretty clear we're not just going to acquire Greenland free and clear. We're going to pay a cost for doing that. So I do want to talk to you folks about that. Also today, President Trump, or yesterday, I believe this was yesterday, President Trump announced that he will impose increased tariffs on any nation that does not back our acquisition of Greenland. So obviously that would mean higher tariffs on France, the UK, Germany, and Denmark that I mentioned. My guess is the Canadians are going to be on the side of the UK and Germany and France and Denmark as well. So we're going to probably lose the Canadians. I don't know about Mexico because I don't know where Mexico in the Latin community stands on what's going on in the European theater, but we're going to probably lose the Canadians. I can't imagine the Australians would side with us on this either. Those nations have yet to speak out, but I cannot imagine Canada or Australia siding with us on this as well. Now, Australia, trivia, fun fact, I learned this when I was in Australia because they used to bring it up all the time when I lived in Australia. The Australians have fought alongside America in every war we've ever been in, with the exception of the Civil War. That's the only nation on earth that has fought alongside America in every war we've been in. But I'm gonna go on a limb here and suggest that I don't believe Australia will back us in our acquisition or our attempted acquisition of Greenland. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat before we start taking calls and going to the box. Fact is, President Trump has said so much awful shit about many of our allies that I cannot imagine them backing him. Also, keep in mind, what does any of our allies stand to gain if America acquires Greenland? Because President Trump is threatening to impose tariffs as a punishment on any nation that does not back us acquiring Greenland. What does France have to gain if America takes control of Greenland? What does the UK have to gain or Germany have to? Why would they back us? There's nothing in it for them. Why would they back that? So we're talking about this. So looking in the comments, he's moving ships to Iran. Yeah, he is moving ships towards Iran. In fact, News Nation a couple of nights ago had announced that it was very likely that Trump was going to launch a preemptive strike on Iran within 24 hours. I don't know, by way of yes or no in the comments, is he looking like a warmonger or is he looking like a peaceful president hell-bent on peace through strength? Which one do you see? Do you see a warmonger or do you see a leader that is operating under the mindset of peace through strength? Which one are you seeing here? Because he sure is threatening a hell of a lot of people. The handsome conservative says, America, hell yeah, support your local liberal. Shout out to you, handsome conservative. Thank you for your support. I'm seeing both. I guess I would ask one of the viewers, and I don't with the dark room here. Am I already failing eyesight? Who said that? Vinny Garth, Vinny Garth Wade, I think that says. You're saying you're seeing both. I want to ask, who's respecting us? Peace through strength, making America a more respected country. Who would be the nations that are respecting America at this point? Because I personally seem to think that we're threatening everybody. Who are we getting to respect us? I could submit to you there's a hell of a lot of nations that fear us. Now, if you want to conflate fear and respect to indicate there's some kind of synonyms, but I don't buy into that. I see it as more strength through fear. I think we're scaring the shit out of nations, but I don't know about nations respecting us. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and start the program off. He has ended some wars, but he started some too. Yeah, Vinny, he's claiming it to have ended 8 wars. I'm going to say the jury's still out on that because he is claiming to have ended wars that nations that were involved in those wars are not giving him any credit for. They're saying, hey, we don't know what you're talking about, but he has claimed to have ended 8 wars. And you're right, he is certainly on the cusp of starting a few as well. Nobel Peace Prize, what say you? So look at in the comments before we move on. What wars have he started, says Sean McSheely Gen X? Several of them. Several of them. If I hit you in the face and you happen to be a 5'5", 115-pound guy, and because I'm 6'6", 300 pounds, you do not retaliate after I hit you in the face because you're just like, fuck it. I don't even want to deal with this. That don't mean I didn't start a fight with you. Just because you didn't hit me back does not mean I didn't start a fight. Every nation Trump has bombed, that was an act of war. Just because those nations are too small to fight back does not mean it was not an act of war. Because I tell you what, if they did it to us, we would consider it an act of war immediately. Those nations being Venezuela, Syria, some could suggest Nigeria, Yemen, Palestine. There's 8 of them. I can't even think of them all right now. But we've bombed 8 nations under President Trump already. Just because they're not fighting back against a juggernaut that presents insurmountable odds does not mean what we're doing is not an act of war. He's just picking and choosing nations that are easy to bully that can't fight back. So let me go back. Let me start out by going to the box, tap the screen, get the likes on up to 10,000. And it was not starting a war, Tim. I think you need to sit on the toilet and get that stuff out of you. Yeah, listen. And by the way, I did that earlier. Gander says it was not starting a war. If you can bomb a dozen Venezuelan boats off the coast of Venezuela, then send troops in their country and take out their current leader and throw him in jail, and ain't considered starting a war, killing at least a few dozen people in the process. If that's not considered starting a war to you, then I don't know what is. I think you're making a special provision for President Trump so that you don't call it what it is. Because if somebody came to America and even took out a damn mayor, we would consider it an act of war. Took the president out, and you're trying to say that's something else. James Harper, good evening. Welcome to the program.
What's going on, Tom?
Not much at all. Good to have you on. Four nations, four allies, UK, Germany, France, and Denmark have now put actual troops in Greenland prepared to defend it. Is it worth the effort to acquire this country?
No, it's not worth the effort. In fact, Canada even warned them, saying, "Hey, if you do this, you're going to trigger Article 5."
Well, shit, if they're already there waiting, yeah, I guess it would. So I guess the idea that these nations are afraid of the United States and they wouldn't stand up seems to be a farce at this point. So do you think Article 5? Do you think these nations would fight the United States?
If they don't, it'd be inviting Russia to attack Poland and things like that. If these nations won't stand up to America, then it'll show that NATO's weak and he'll go for it.
Wow. Well, shit. I mean, to some degree, and you're right. To me, I don't know if it matters whether they stand up to us or not. If we take Greenland, that does, as your point now, pretty much leaves us silent to say any damn thing about what is it? The Soviet Union trying to reestablish themselves, or China going into Taiwan. But even if we are fighting other NATO member nations, then we're too busy to deal with Russia anyway.
Right. But at this point, if he keeps going, his own side is gonna try to impeach him. Like, he's already getting threats from Republicans saying, "Hey, you continue to do this against NATO, I'm gonna." And he said, "I have enough to get you impeached, enough support."
Who said that?
It was a Republican. I'm trying to. It wasn't Chip Roy. I'm trying to remember.
Well, shit, if it ain't Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, where is it going?
No, it was a senator.
Yeah, I mean, you think there's enough Republicans that are willing to speak up and challenge Trump after all of this shit? Appreciate that, JPT Farms. Thank you. You think it's enough of them
I
willing to
mean,
stand up?
if the risk is bad enough, yeah.
Shit, how much worse can the risk be? We're at the risk of destroying NATO right now.
Well, you got to remember, like, if we destroy NATO, it's not just like militarily that is going to affect us; it's economically it's going to affect us.
Yeah, yeah. I can't
Like,
think of any way it won't affect us. To be honest, travel wise, you're right. Economically, whether the value of the U.S. dollar, I'm trying to figure out, James, why some of these nations, if they're already talking about standing up against the United States, are not telling us to get our bases out of their countries.
I think that's going to be like their first step. Like, once shit hits the fan and Trump tries to get aggressive, the first thing they're going to say is, "Hey, get your stuff out."
I don't see why they're not saying it now. I mean, just the fact that you talking shit, because at this point, you got to wonder what with the bases still in
I
Germany and these countries. I mean, they may already be studying the locality of the country just in case we end up having to attack Germany. We may be already doing spy missions and shit in their countries.
I think they're hoping that we handle our own issues.
Who is we?
Like, the American people, like, handle their own issues and stop Trump ourselves before, like, they go and do something that's gonna cause, like, major harm. Because, to be honest, like, our bases in these areas, like, that helps their economy too.
Yeah, but scale of 1 to 10, based on what you've seen, how likely are we as a country to handle Trump ourselves? What have you seen? Have you seen anything to indicate that might happen?
It looks like Congress is starting to get their balls back. But to be honest, until the midterms, it's not going to be strong enough because they need to get rid of some of these spineless people that'll follow Trump to the end.
Do you feel confident there actually will be a free and fair midterm election to begin with?
I'm confident they'll try to do something, but we've seen a few times that when it push comes to shove, like Trump does get pushback on a lot of his like ridiculousness,
So you
like his more
think
serious stuff.
so you believe if Trump tries to interfere with the midterms in any way, you believe there will be sufficient pushback to prevent him from doing that?
Yeah, I believe there'll be sufficient pushback, and hell, if an if he loses any more people, then it's gonna be hard for him to get anything passed. Because the way it is now, like he's only got like a 1 seat majority right now.
Yeah. I'm real curious for the folks watching and hearing our conversation. How many of you folks feel confident, yes or no? How many of you feel confident what my caller is saying that if Trump tries to go off the rails and prevent the midterms, that the Republican Party and people in this country will stop him? Do you feel as confident as my caller do? Because I'm not. I don't think I'm on the same side as you, James, on this one. I'm I don't know. I think that if Trump says the midterms are fraudulent, he would get at least 30-40% of this country that would agree they're fraudulent and need to be dealt with without even needing proof or any evidence at all.
Like I said, we gotta wait and see.
Yeah.
But he's been getting away with some things, but like the more serious stuff that he's been trying to do, like that's been getting pushed back.
What is he? Give me an example. What are you talking? What has he tried to do that you believe he got pushed back and was stopped? Now I know he sounds like he got pushed back from the Insurrection Act, which he was going to bestow upon Minnesota.
He got pushed back on that. He got pushed back on the Alien Invasion Act, like with his power with the trying to like use on ice, he got pushed back on sending troops to all these major cities. He's been getting pushed back on that.
I think that he's got some.
And he's got pushed back on tariffs.
How did push back on tariffs in what way?
Like right now, it's going to get. All indications shows that he's going to lose his ability to like just willy nilly like employ tariffs on nations.
You feel confident in this stuff? You really think they're going to stop him like this? I mean, and listen, you could be right. The reason why I'm not in the same camp with you is he's done so much unobstructed that I have a hard time believing that if he really wants to, I think right now Trump is in a position that probably 99% of what he wants to do, he can do it, no matter what it is.
Nah, it's actually imploding. Like you're starting to see, like, why you think they went along and passed the what's the name, the extension on the subsidies and all that. They realized like, hey, some of this stuff is actually gonna hurt us in the end. So like they're trying to save face now.
It's probably too late, James. I mean, certainly our relationship with Canada, France, the UK, that's already been hurt. I think Trump has already caused some long-term pain no matter what happens from this point going forward. I think he's already done that.
I'm not saying he didn't cause no long-term pain. He definitely caused long-term pain.
Yeah. But so you don't, and I see in the comments, one of my viewers, King Trump should take Greenland. So you don't see Greenland being worth the effort.
No, it's not worth the effort. At one point, we had like 17 bases on Greenland. So what more do we need to like for security wise with Greenland? Like it's a resource grab, just like all those other countries that he attacked. It's a resource grab. What he wants to do is he wants to get into that business. He's trying to get his foot in that business because that's a multi-billion-dollar industry that he wants to be a part of.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder, and Truckerman, thank you for that TikTok cap. Thank you folks for helping me reach the goal there. Thank you for supporting the program. I kind of wonder, James, if he successfully, after taking over Venezuela and now taking Greenland, if he is successful at doing that, do you think that'll be the last place he does it?
Oh, he's going to try and get as much as he can as fast as he can because he has no real strategy. It's hurry up and get this, hurry up and get that. But like they said, by the time they could get the infrastructure in place to actually like benefit from it, he won't make it Do you see him having 10 more years on his life?
No, no, I don't see that. Certainly not 10 more
And that,
viable years. But
that's
MAGA
the point
does.
about it.
MAGA is already talking about Trump 2028 to 2032. So MAGA sees at least 7 more years out of Trump.
Yeah, that ain't happening. And then I think with that, MAGA does it more for trolling because they know people get pissed off about like Trump violating the Constitution of the term limits. That's why they do it. You got to remember, MAGA loves to troll. They love being cruel.
I don't know if they trolling on this, James. I think the idea of Trump serving a third term or doing something dictator-like is really pleasing to the MAGA ear because they believe he's the best president we've had, not only in their lifetime, but maybe in the history of this great nation. I really think that the idea of
And
Trump
they have
serving a third term and beyond is actually something that they would really favor.
they literally have nothing to go off of to say that. They're just saying it just to say it.
Well, he's granting their wishes, whatever that may be. I got folks. I asked this on my social media page earlier. You know, scale of 1 to 10, Trump's been in there a year. How well has he done? Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being great. I got some nines. I've got folks that are saying a year into Trump's term, he's a 9 so far.
Yeah, and these people will sit there and cut their nose off to spite their face. Like all the stuff that they complain about Biden is happening worse under Trump.
Well, but they see the border being secure, the integrity of women's sports being protected. They do see some. They do see some Trump doing some things that are beneficial.
They 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 see more optical issues instead of actual like deep seated issues like the economy. The economy is not doing as well as they think they're doing. The economy is doing bad. Like grocery prices, what they were complaining about, grocery prices are up. Like our like our export is down. Tourism is down. Like we're like all the stuff that was like generating money for the country are down.
Yeah, I got to move on, but I'm currently in Vegas right now, and I'm shocked at how much you're talking about tourism being down. I'm shocked at what
Oh, I
I'm
know.
seeing. I'm
Vegas
shocked at
is a
what I'm
ghost town
seeing.
right now, right?
It ain't a ghost town, but goddamn, it feels like I'm here. It's a Friday night, and it feels
And it's
more like a
quiet.
Monday afternoon or something.
And it's quiet out there.
Yeah, it's. I've been coming here for 20 years. It is way the fuck down. It's noticeably down.
Tim, I can tell you right now, during COVID, when we were during the lockdown, I guarantee you it was more lively during COVID than it is right now.
Wow, that's crazy. James, I got to move it on. I was not here during COVID, but like I said, there's gaps all over
No,
usually when you.
I was out there during COVID, and I'm telling you, like the streets were still packed and everything, and people were still going out and clubbing and all that. There was no like you could like it was still like busy like the strip it always is. What I seen out there is nowhere. It's nothing like
Yeah,
that.
it ain't busy like that now. I got to move it on though, James. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate it. Yeah, and I'm
No problem,
saying
Tim.
that I've been here 2 days now, and I've been coming to Vegas since the '90s, and you know, usually, especially on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, hell, even on some weeknights, the sidewalks on Las Vegas Boulevard are so crowded. It's shoulder to shoulder. It's big gaps. Big gaps. Like you can walk 50 feet before you get to the next group of people in front of you. There's big gaps. Now I'm watching the news media because I went to YouTube and watched a lot of news reports. They're saying tourism is down 11%. It seemed like it's more than that. I mean, I got on. There's this big, huge. What do they call it? The high roller wheel, big ass Ferris wheel. You get on, and you know it goes around one revolution. Takes a half hour. You look over the city. I just got off of that about an hour ago. Multiple cars on that thing were empty. Multiple cars were going by. Nobody on them. I got on one with 2 other people. It's definite. I gotta assume now. I would before I go to the next caller. The price of shit here is sky high. So no denying that the corporate greed aspect is hurting their tourism as well. But I tend to think it's not just Vegas, Disney World, Disneyland, you name it, Six Flags. These other places are dealing with this too. So it's not just the price where they now charging for parking and all that shit here in Vegas, and a cup of soda costs $8 and all of that shit. People say they're high prices. I'm sure the prices are affecting it, but international tourism has got to be slim to none at this point. Anyway, looking in the comments, and I see somebody asked, "Is the World Cup still happening?" I cannot. Right now, the answer is yes. But I cannot understand why these countries are not pulling out on some of that stuff. Let me go back to the box. Got to bounce. Mercado Media is back to the protest. MAGA is a waste of time. Damn. Disney maybe don't charge $500. Disney ain't been cheap ever. I went to Disney maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and then again maybe six. I've been there twice in the last decade. Disney ain't never been cheap. So in fact, I've been there about 3 times since 2010. It's never been cheap, but tourism is down. International tourism is down. Tap the screen, get us on up to 35,000. I'll go to the next caller. We'll go to Sherbert. Haven't talked to you in a while. There's Sherbert. Good evening. Welcome to the program. Greenland being worth the effort. What say you, Sherbert?
Not at all, because we can put a base there, any kind of base, at any time.
Yeah.
So it's really just a waste.
So why does Trump want to own it then?
I believe he said in an interview a couple days ago that it's important for his mental state to feel like he's winning.
Wait, say that again?
It's important for Trump's mental state that he has Canada to feel like he's winning. It's all about his ego. He literally said it.
To have, where is Canada? So, because Canada's not going to side with us on this Greenland acquisition either. Do you think Canada is going to side with America on taking over Greenland?
Not at all. They're going to be a big problem, as essentially we're going to have a Red Dawn situation.
I guess the question is can you foresee any of our allied nations siding with us on taking over Greenland? I mean, like I mentioned, Australia, New Zealand, various nations throughout Europe. Can you imagine? Is there any of our allies that will favor us taking Greenland?
Russia would.
That's not an ally.
It is now, especially after we kicked Canada in the teeth.
Where the hell did that happen?
And as soon as he gave him the red carpet in Alaska, they became our allies.
No, he gave Putin the red carpet treatment, also put him in the beast, gave him a flyover, all at our expense, taxpayer expense, while we getting pissed off at the Somalis. I don't know why we waste so much money on, but he did say if nothing came out of the red carpet summit in Alaska with Putin, there would be strict sanctions on Russia if they didn't back out of the Ukraine war. Now, that obviously didn't happen, but I don't know about an ally, Sherbert. An ally?
I mean, I don't want them to be, but none of our other allies will support it, and Putin's probably the closest one to supporting it. And with how he talks about how much he loves dictators, would it really be a surprise if he made them an ally?
Oh.
Didn't he write a whole book, Dearly, or My Love Letters to Everyone, or something like that?
I've heard something like that. I'm going to simply say I've heard something like that. So let me ask it to you this way. Do you believe that Trump himself sees Vladimir Putin in Russia as an ally?
Yeah. Otherwise, he wouldn't have tried to shut down Ukraine so hard and give Russia literally everything. He wants Putin to love him, 100%.
What about MAGA? Do you think that his supporters see Russia as an ally?
At least some of them. I've definitely seen the interview on the street where they say, well, what about Putin? Like, yeah, I'd vote Putin in. I'd vote Putin as president. He's a great guy. And so some people are just so brainwashed that they would absolutely let that happen. They'd let anything happen. They'd let their daughters go to his pageant shows, even knowing what was going to happen.
I see Sean in the comments says that Russia should be our friend. So some folks are saying that we should have Russia as an ally. I see Lance is saying TDS much. I don't know where the TDS is coming in on this one. Gangsta grandma. Appreciate that, gangsta. After Greenland, he will go for Canada. Jesus. He said it many times to make it the 51st state. Do you believe there's any weight behind that? He has talked about Canada being the 51st state, but he never talked about doing that by force, has he?
Yeah, he kept saying he's going to make Canada the 51st state. Now Greenland's going to be the 51st state. So maybe they'll be the 52nd. I don't know. Then Cuba will be the 53rd. Venezuela will be the 54th. He's just going for like grabs of anything he can because he's a narcissist and wants to be in the history books. That's it.
Oh, he's made the history books already. That ain't
Yeah.
shit.
And in sitting here,
I'll tell you one thing.
Our grandchildren that our president tried to take over the world like Hitler.
I would have to hear MAGA's rendition of it. MAGA may disagree with you. I would like to hear. I gotta get a MAGA viewer because I want to hear. I want to hear from MAGA how they believe Trump will go down in history. I think it might be different than you, Sherber.
They're gonna say he was the best king we've ever had.
Well,
They don't care, Tim, and I don't give a shit what they think anymore. I'm pretty sure all MAGA is evil at this point, and I didn't used to say that.
oh, wait. All MAGA is evil?
At this point, yeah. I would say most Republicans are, but at least all MAGA.
Damn. What makes you say? I gotta get your I gotta get you to elaborate. What would make you suggest that? I mean, MAGAs represent about 30% of the voting population. All of them evil?
Yeah. I
Based
think
on
most of those are white supremacists as well, which I think is evil.
30% of our nation are white
Yeah,
supremacists.
Well, maybe 20.
But you do realize there's a hell of a lot of black and even a couple at this point Hispanic MAGA out there. There may even be one or two gay MAGA out there still.
Uh-huh. They're still white supremacists, even if they're black.
Black MAGA is a white supremacist?
If they want to keep giving up their own rights, then sure.
And I see in the comments, Buck at 404 says they're all racist too. Makes no sense. Well, if he's saying they're all white supremacists, then yeah, that would mean they're racist. So you believe that the overwhelming, let me downplay it at least a little bit. You believe that the overwhelming majority of MAGA are racist by nature.
Yes, and all of the Trump supporters are all of the ICE agents at this point are definitely racist because the ones that weren't left 2 months ago.
What do you mean they left 2 months ago?
Wasn't there a huge ICE resignation? Like, maybe it was 6 months ago. Time's funny right now. But ICE lost like half of their, maybe not half, but they lost a large proportion of their agents because they couldn't handle A, the pressure, and B, the fucked up shit they were doing.
What
So now they're just hiring anybody. There was a news report of a lady that was straight up saying she's Antifa. She got the job with ICE without them ever doing a drug test or a background check. Or even Googling her fucking name. So they will take anyone. And the same way the priests have a problem with pedophiles, so PDOs.
Yeah, and I see it. And when you said that the woman said she was Antifa, got the job without them doing any back check, I am aware of that. I forgot the woman's name. That is actually true. And I'm saying that because in the comments, the Leering Center, now he's making fun of that daycare in Minnesota. His name is the Leering patterned after what's supposed to be the Learning Center, but they spelled it wrong. The Leering Center says show your source. I cannot think of the woman's name, but he is right. There is a woman that applies.
Really not that hard to look it up, Leering.
No, it's not that hard.
To look it up.
Yeah, no, it's not that hard because she is a journalist. And I remember seeing her give the interview. She said, I got a unique name. I got a history that you can easily Google. And they gave me the job, no background check. They didn't look into me or anything. And she even admitted she actually got cannabis in her system. She even admitted I wouldn't pass a background check. She said they next thing I know, they had put me on the ICE's website as I don't accepted the job and I'm an ICE agent now. So they're taking anybody.
Yeah, and so, of course, the unqualified ICE agents are getting in and just doing whatever the fuck they want. It's super fucking clear with how brutal they are and not understanding how to use leveling of... I don't have the right words right now. How the escalation of things happen. They're just going in full force and shooting people in the face with pepper balls or stun grenades or... And when people aren't doing anything but have their phone up and then they're getting tackled, I don't know how you can support that. You're a piece of shit.
Well, you know something, folks. I had one guy in the comment ask, why do Democrats like criminals so much? Because they're suggesting that, you know, what ICE is doing is tackling a criminal element in Minnesota, and the Democrats trying to criticize ICE is somehow, some way, a measure to show that the Democrats favor criminality.
Yeah, they can say that, but they also supported the felon. They're okay, but they want to pardon the guy that shot the lady in the face. They're evil. I'm fucking done with this. I'm not gonna apologize. I'm not gonna give them an inch anymore. They're fucking evil.
Well, when you say they want to pardon it, you're talking about the ICE agent that shot Renee Nicole Good. Is that who you're referring to?
Yes, sir. They donated, what, $500,000 to him? Fuck you guys.
Would you convict that guy of murder based on what happened?
100%. He did not get hit. He was not in the way. And he could have taken 2 steps and it would have been 100% clear, let alone the half a step he did take.
But Sherbert,
Fuck you guys.
but Sherbert, she was obstructing justice, and then she was fleeing. She was indeed a criminal at the time of her death. Huh?
Arrest her for fleeing, but you would be more in danger if he was standing in front of it, fired, and then the car's out of control. He still would have gotten hit.
Yeah. No, but the point I'm making is trying to get a jury to convict a cop for literally shooting a criminal. I think that would be a hard sell. I think that even if you had a Democratic administration, when it comes down to a jury of his peers, that officer, 11 years on the force, so he's not one of these white supremacists that got trained overnight. I mean, he's been on ICE agent for 11 years. I don't think he's going down for that, Sherbert, even if you get a liberal in there.
Well, tell Derek Chauvin that.
Derek Chauvin is a little bit different. Come on now, you're not
No,
comparing.
it's not. No, it's not. No, he's not. It's not wrong. He's not different at all. There's gigantic protest over what one officer did. I'm fucking done pretending that they're okay and good people.
You're putting the ICE agent that took the life of Renee Nicole Good in the same category as Derek Chauvin sitting on George Floyd for 9 minutes?
100%.
Oh, come on. That's a bit
Are you
heavy.
fluffing right now, Tim?
Huh?
No, are you fluffing right now?
I'm not fluffing. I think that's crazy. What Derek Chauvin did was egregious. I don't know. I get you guys. I just don't understand how she's driving a car at him.
Wasn't at him. She turned her wheels away.
Did she not strike him in the process?
No. And when you look at all the different angles, he didn't.
You're
At
telling
most his knee got caught.
You're telling me that car didn't touch him at all?
No, because when you look at it from a perspective where you're seeing mostly the front of the car, he has his hands extended out with his hands on the hood, leaning back at a pretty severe angle. He didn't get hit. He got moved away when the car moved, and he lost his balance. He did not get hit at all, and anyone that says he got hit can go fuck themselves.
I'm hearing the evidence says otherwise, and that not only was he hit, he actually had.
Go look it up, Tim. Don't go by what fucking MAGA says here.
I'm not going by just MAGA. I'm going by the claim that he was bleeding, had to go to the hospital, walked away from the strike limping after shooting her. I'm hearing that the evidence on video suggests that he was even limping for a brief period after getting hit by that vehicle.
I'm hearing he stayed on the scene for an hour and then went to a house to go get his stuff out before he ever went to the hospital. And if he really was that severely hurt, he would have gone straight to the fucking hospital.
He did, didn't he? Well, he didn't go straight to the. He didn't go. Yeah, he didn't go straight, but he did go to the hospital.
Man, after they just released the Jan 6 report under Trump's administration, I don't believe a fucking word.
I'll leave it at that, and I can absolutely agree with that part of it.
Kristi Noem called her a domestic terrorist within 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Fuck that, Tim. He did not get hit. They just want to do a spin so everyone says, oh, Democrats are so evil.
Well, but you got to admit, Mayor Fry of Minneapolis and Tim Walz of Minnesota, they also got on television with pretty biased accounts of it as well. Did they not?
I don't think so. Everything I saw, they were pretty measured and saying we have to
No.
everything down.
Mayor Fry immediately said that they're already trying to spin this as a self-defense shooting, and that is bullshit. He came out immediately and took just as strong of a stance in favor of Renee Nicole Good as Kristi Noem took against him. I mean, he was pretty biased as well.
I've seen about 2 hours of people going over the video by goddamn frame. And after you see every bit frame by frame, there is no question of it. And so when the literal mayor of that city had all of the information he possibly could and came out with a solid resolve saying it didn't happen, I'm going to believe that guy. That wasn't him escalating by calling ICE domestic terrorists.
Well, he did say ICE needs to get the fuck out of Minneapolis. So, I mean,
They call them domestic terrorists.
Yeah.
I think they are.
All right, I'm moving on, Sherbert, but I do agree they're terrorizing people. I don't think it's any denying that what ICE is doing is terrorizing people, because they're grabbing a lot of American citizens and making them prove that they're American citizens. That's got to be terroristic when somebody's coming at you with a mask on and M4 and all it. That's got to be a hell of a lot to deal with. So I will agree that their acts are somewhat terroristic and frightening. I wouldn't want nothing to do with Minnesota right now. I would not even want to go there to visit. Sherbert, thanks for coming through.
Have a good night, sir.
You too. So murder, folks, you got in the comments real quick, justified or murder. We're still talking about this shit because obviously the Trump administration is not necessarily being transparent on any investigation of the officer that took Renee Nicole Good. They're not giving the state access to anything about the investigation. And obviously the Trump administration already had their mind made up. It was justified from day one. So there is not any sort of proper investigation into this. I might have seen things a little different than my last caller, but my last caller has enough points that there should be a transparent investigation so people can come to their own conclusion. And the Trump administration is preventing that from happening. Last I heard, they're actually investigating Renee Nicole Good's partner. I don't know if it was her wife or she was a lesbian. I don't know what their status of their relationship was, but they're going after her. They're not even investigating the cop. They just ruled it justified and moved on. So I do believe there should be a little bit more transparency there. Let me go back to the box, tap the screen, get us on up to 60,000. He said something else that was pretty strong. All MAGA are white supremacists. Yikes. If I ask yes or no, most of you guys are going to disagree with that, right? All MAGA, white supremacists. Looking in the comments, how is black MAGA racist, though? I thought Democrats said black people couldn't be racist. That's a great point to make that handsome conservative. That's a great point. I don't subscribe to the theory that black people can't be racist. I know a hell of a lot of black racists. Farrakhan is a black racist individual. So I never was one to subscribe to the theory that black people cannot be racist. But that's a great point to push back, because my last caller said that even black MAGA are white supremacists and racists as well. And that would obviously counter the theory that a lot of Democrats and minorities suggest is, well, you can't be racist. Well, if you can't be racist, then you can't call them that now. You can't pick and choose when to call somebody racist as a time of convenience. So that's a great point. Tim is definitely fluffing like cold shit right now. Says handsome. What fingers? Handsome evil fingers. We don't fluff here. We do. This is a non-fluffing zone. Let me go back to the box. Have you heard Farrakhan say racist things? Yeah, white devil. White devils. That's a racist comment. to suggest that white people are the devil? I mean, what's the difference from that and damn near the N-word? Other than the fact that the N-word has a historical context. But yeah, Farrakhan is absolutely anti-white. I don't think, and I see in the comments, I think James Cool, Michaels, all you guys, and I see also too, Jay Woody says that's not racist. You know damn well if a white person said the same stuff Farrakhan says about blacks, it would be racist. Really? Come on now. You're listen, being candid, I grew up on the south side of Chicago. For any of you who know anything about Chicago, I was on 74th and Stony Island, literally across the street from Farrakhan's mosque. I could step on my porch and throw a rock and hit his mosque. And I was there for about almost 15 years. And I used to see that, talk to the folks, buy the Final Call, which is their newspaper publication. It's racist. It's racist. And most of the people, most of the African Americans that become members of the Nation of Islam, they don't like white people either. So to suggest it ain't racist, that's a tough sell. That's a tough sell. Let me go back to the box though. Fuck ICE and fuck Donald Trump says Freddie Marines. Yikes. I sure as hell can. I never agree with any certain group of people can't be racist. Anybody can be racist. I do agree with that. Anybody can be racist. Let me go back to the box. Somebody says not liking isn't racism. No, but when you calling them devils and shit, well, first of all, to me, if you say you don't like a whole group of people solely based on their skin color, that is racist. It has nothing to do with content of character or anything. I mean, you're not liking them for attributes that are God given. They can't control the fact that they were born white or born Hispanic or born Asian. They can't control that. And you hate them because you don't like them because of that. Yeah, that is racist. And you wouldn't tolerate it if somebody said it about an African American. That's the difference. Let me go back to the box. Don't know what I'm looking at here, but we'll make it happen with Straight Talk Commerce. Stockholm Syndrome. What do you mean by Stockholm? Elaborate on that, D. You're talking about Stockholm Syndrome. We know what it is, but in how does that relate to what we're discussing? Straight Talk. Good evening.
How are you doing, Tim?
I'm shocked. I'm hearing that MAGA are all white supremacists.
But keep in mind that that's who you're voting with. When you go to the ballot box, you got a decision to make. You can either go with a Sherbert and go his way, or all of them. I love you. I don't care who knows it. I've said it a million times on here. I don't think you're fluffing anybody. I personally think you are the worst troll that I've ever met in a good way. And by the way, as far as I know, Louis Farrakhan was referring to the white devil as Democrats. The white Democrats.
I think you're talking about Malcolm. Devil. I think you're talking about Malcolm X, not Louis Farrakhan.
Oh, maybe yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about Malcolm X.
Right. Maybe it was Malcolm X that said that. You're right. You're right. That might be true.
But I will say that no, this is not trolling. I can see some legitimacy in some issues and
No. I'm going to tell you something, man. You go a little bit beyond, and that's fine with me. It's entertaining.
Elaborate. Where do I go beyond? Help me out.
A couple of the things. Look, a couple of the things. I sat here trying to call the Russian judge to see if he wouldn't give you a 10 on your gymnastics. Because I've heard you say and it's hard to get a 10 from the Russian judge. Okay? But he was making a comment that I heard you tell me personally a couple days ago the exact opposite.
What was the comment?
The exact opposite.
Give me the comment. What was it?
It was about her being hit by...
Okay.
Renee Good being hit by that vehicle. Okay. It is now your belief that he was actually...
Yeah, because once I seen his footage, I heard you could hear him getting hit. I hadn't seen that footage.
Look, man, I caught that on day one, okay? Listen, I appreciate you. And on January... This is your audience needs to know this. January 22nd is a very big day in TikTok history. Larry Ellis takes over... His group takes over TikTok.
I'm frightened of that because
you should not. You don't have a thing to worry about. And I will tell you, a lot of these liberal content makers will either change the way they do business or they'll go the way of the dodo.
Well, I'll tell you the reason. I'll tell you the reason I'm frightened of it. To me, it's kind of the equivalent of Elon Musk taking over Twitter.
It's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, but the reason I haven't
just know that it's coming.
Yeah, the reason I have an issue with that is because these are not unbiased people. They're complaining about liberal censorship when they favor conservative censorship.
Yes. Guess what? 70% of all social media will be under conservative control. 70%.
Right.
Now, you don't think that's a problem? But you know why? Do you know why it's going to be that way? Because you leftists, you Democrats couldn't hold your mud. You guys couldn't be fair.
And you think the right...
Okay. Let me finish. So therefore, conservatives who normally stay on the sideline with that, live and let live, do whatever you got to do.
I don't believe that.
Oh, we 100% do. That's why we lose so many elections.
I don't believe that. I'll tell you right off the bat, a lot of things that you folks on the right are bitching and complaining about the liberals doing weaponized DOJ, trying to go after Trump, witch hunts, all of this stuff, tricking the media. You guys are actually okay with all that shit as long as it's done on your
Yes,
behalf.
we are. Hell, yes, we are. We learn from the best.
So then it ain't wrong. So then it's either wrong or it's not. If it's done, hang on. If you're willing to accept it when it's done in your favor, then you don't see it as wrong.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We used to see it on an Einbahnstraße. Do you know what an Einbahnstraße is?
I have no fucking clue. What are you telling me?
Yeah, it's a one-way street. It used to be only directed one way. And now, since the rules have changed, weaponization of government has become a policy now.
So
it goes way back to Clinton and Janet Reno. It goes all the way through Obama. It goes all the way through the Biden administration.
So what you're basically suggesting is Trump didn't drain the swamp. He just took control of it and started operating the swamp on his behalf.
Well, he drained the swamp of the left and inserted swamp monsters from the right.
Exactly. So the swamp.
That way, I'm perfectly fine with you looking at it that way.
Yeah.
And I will tell you a little secret just between us girls. Y'all might not get it back. Y'all might not have another chance. If I have my way, you will not have another chance to refill that little swamp with all of your salamanders and your whirligigs.
Well, and my response to you is going to be, you are no better than what you've complained about. If you're totally okay, hold on, hang on. If you're totally okay with all the shit you complained about, as long as it works in your favor, to me, you're no better than what you complained about.
You sold me. I'm sold. You're right. 100% you're right. But it's better to do unto others than have done unto you. I just left a live where I couldn't even get a word in edgewise, Tim. They shut down the conversation before it can even happen. They ask a question and then won't close their mouth to receive the answer.
Happens to me in every MAGA live I go to.
I know. And guess what? And who's in the comments section helping you out? That would be me.
Occasionally you're there, yes. But yeah, MAGA,
not every time, Tim. I don't have your schedule. But you know for a fact when I'm in there, I let them know that I'm riding with you. You and I, we are very copacetic when it comes that way. You
keep saying that shit. You're gonna make me lose my hood card. Real quick, hang on before you respond.
No, I don't want that to happen.
The Heads of Conservatives says, Tim, whatever the Democrats can do, conservatives can do better. Is that your take?
Well, I don't want to find out. I'm with you. I suspect that comment is 100% correct, but I don't want to find out. And by the way, I have 2 years of my podcast that will speak to this. 2 years of me helping people regardless of their race, creed, color, politics.
Did my caller drop? Straight talk, are you there?
Whatever.
Go ahead.
2 years solid online for everybody to see. And you get called a fluffer more by your own party than anyone I know.
Well,
you lost your hood card a long time ago, and it didn't have anything to do with a conservative. The first time you let Mo Better or Hamster Granny or Gangster Granny. I was thinking someone else.
Oh my God!
The minute you let them speak, they gave themselves up. You didn't do anything to hurt them. They did it to themselves. Den Cock Cow. Traveling Man, all of these people. I've been around, dude. I've talked with all of them.
Okay, apparently you have. So explain to me what exactly. Well, let me ask you what one of the original topics of the show is. Now that we've heard that Denmark, France, the UK, and Germany are all putting soldiers in Greenland. Is acquiring Greenland really worth it? Apparently, some of our allies are making it clear they're willing to fight us to defend Greenland.
No,
is it
worth
worth
they're
it?
Going there, Tim. Again, he's 4D chess. President Trump wanted that to begin with. That's why he was threatening Greenland with taking them over. He wants help from NATO. NATO needs to either stand with us or not stand with us. He's asked them to pay more money. They're now paying more money. He has asked them to start taking a stand and have a backbone. Now they're doing that.
So in
This
other
was
words,
the plan.
so
It
wait.
looks like
So
this
your
was the plan
4D
from
your
jump.
4D chess elaboration is that Trump doesn't want to actually take over Greenland. He just wants people to step up and defend it properly.
He doesn't want to have to. That would be very expensive for us. But if you can get your allies to stand a post, guard a gate, actually show some muscle, some backbone, actually put forth a little bit of effort in defending themselves, well, hell yes, that is a perfect compromise, don't you think?
I don't see it because we got so is he going to call some of the Americans that are in Greenland home now that we got all these
No,
other
it's going to be more of a presence. We are going to have more of a presence in Greenland because our friends finally decided to get into the bar fight with us.
The bar fight we're starting.
No, this bar fight has been going on. You are ignoring China coming in there poking around, Russia coming over their warships, going to Greenland, threatening people. That you ignore all that. It's been going on. We just didn't know until he pointed it out to us.
Okay, and I see in the comments, Too Strong for Life says the caller is a moron. So that's your term. You call my caller, so somebody's calling you a moron.
Yeah.
So let me ask it to you this way, straight talk. What about claiming that Canada should be our 51st state? Is that 4D chess as well?
So 6 provinces have already voted. The only 2 provinces are the more populated provinces. So Saskatchewan, a lot of provinces have already approached their Canadian government and said, we want to secede and go to the United States.
So he's trying
That's the truth.
So now he's potentially breaking up one of our closest allies. What are you trying to cause a civil war within
they're breaking themselves up, Tim.
It wasn't happening before. No, it wasn't happening. But it was not happening before he. It was not. No. You're saying they're breaking themselves up. That wasn't happening before he came along.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. The same thing that Oregon is happening in Oregon and Idaho. Idaho is about to take over 2/3 of Oregon.
So wait a minute. You're telling me that under the Biden administration, 6 provinces in Canada was trying to join with the United States?
Been much longer than that. Been much longer than that. They are very dissatisfied with their government. They have a very liberal, very fascist, totalitarian government in Canada. The whole reason, you heard the whole thing with Jordan Peterson, and they tried to force language on him, and he came to the United States because he didn't want to. They wanted to make him say pronouns that that's a very fascist thing to do. When your government look, we have freedom of speech here. That means that you are free to say what you want. Canada took it one step further and said the government will tell you what you will say. And if you don't, and England does the same thing. You can't even have a social media post in England that won't get not get you.
But here's the problem, though.
But don't blow past that.
No, I'm not blowing past that. I'm not blowing past that. I don't think that is as important as you're making it sound like. I think that kids.
So really, you think the government telling you what you can and cannot say? Listen, you're probably one of those TikTok language guys. You probably love it that TikTok makes you say pow pow or pew pew when we both know what you're trying to say.
If I was saying unalived and using all of those crazy terms, I would have. The reason my numbers are not as high is because I don't censor. But real quick in the comments, someone told me. Jake asked me in the comments. Jake3813 says, "Can you ask Straight Talk for a resource? I can't find anything on it." He's talking about your claim that Canada wants to become part of the United States. I've never heard of it before either.
Yeah, do a very quick 1-sentence YouTube or Google search. You will find tons of videos that Canadians are making about it, talking about their parliament and talking about their representatives going to the government and making the argument that it is no longer tenable. The conservatives are sick and most of the provinces, and I don't have it sitting in front of me, but I'll bring it next time I come up. Most of those provinces are very low population, they're very conservative, and their resources are being used by Alberta and by Toronto, Ottawa, are being used from those. In other words, it is the same thing that happened with us at the Revolutionary War. They believe that they are being taxation and have no representation. It's the same thing that started this country. So if you have your head buried in the sand, if you think any people will put up with taxation without representation, the people in Saskatchewan, the people in these other provinces do not like not having a voice in their own government.
Yeah, I will tell you, I think you can find small groups of people in any country that will say things that is against their own country. I mean, there were people in this country that were saying Putin was a better leader than Biden, and we'd rather have Putin. I mean, you can find. The
problem is when it grows to the point. The problem. You're right, by the way.
So
the problem comes in when that opposition grows to the size. Look at Iran. When the Shah left Iran for cancer treatment, came to the United States, that's when the Islamic government took over. Okay? Those people realized very quickly, oh, this was a very bad mistake. And then a flood of immigrants came to this country. I know a lot of people that were Christian Iranians, and they realized very quickly, oh, this was a very bad mistake. So it happens all the time. That's why we have so much immigration to this country, because
we ain't having that no more. Trump has pretty much ended immigration. Pretty much ended it. The border ain't secure. The border is not secure. It's fucking closed.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you say that, because one of the people that was in the last live with me, that is the reason I got thrown off the panel, because I made the same contention you just made, and they disagree. The left in this country has it in their brain that the border is not closed.
I don't know why they. Yeah, I've had arguments with Gangsta Grandma and everybody over that. To me, the only reason the border might not be closed is they believe that there's still a few people that are savvy enough to sneak over. But if it's left up to President Trump, he don't want nobody coming in this country, certainly from any brown or black nation.
And listen, my immigration, my thoughts on immigration are very well documented. I have a whole video, probably 42-minute video on immigration and how we can fix this problem. I love immigration. I love immigrants. Immigrants are the lifeblood of this.
That ain't Trump.
You're tired.
You didn't vote for a guy that loves it. You may love it. You didn't vote for a guy that loves it. Yeah, you didn't vote. You voted for a guy that hates it.
No, he doesn't. He absolutely loves immigration and he loves immigrants, but he needs them to...
He has banned immigrating to America from over half the planet.
Tim, why? You have to ask the question, why? Why did he do that?
Because he don't like immigration. He don't like it is why.
Yeah, your answer to that question is because he hates all these immigrants. That's not my answer to why he did this.
That might not be your answer, but that sounds like the shit he says. He doesn't just give reasons why he don't want him here. He gives hateful reasons why he don't, calling them garbage and shitos. The comments coming out of his mouth is why I'm saying his comments are fucking hateful. Last word to you, I gotta move it on.
What do you mean you gotta move it on?
I got other motherfuckers want to come in here.
You gotta be kidding me. These people need to hear some sense. I mean, damn. Although I will say this.
Go ahead, wrap it up.
I wore the two knuckles on my index finger off on this channel. Okay? I love you. I love what you are doing. You are very cool as far as I'm concerned. But the only problem I see is not enough of your audience, right or left, actually rewards you for what it is you're doing. And that is a fucking shame to me. And they should be ashamed of themselves for it. I'm telling you right now. You should be making $1 million for this live because you're keeping the conversation going. Now, let me tell you why he's doing this with immigration, and I will leave. And I'll exit out the back door if you'd like, so nobody sees that we're friends.
You guys are anti-LGBTQ. I don't want to hear shit about the back door. Go ahead.
All right, that was a low blow. Listen, everyone that is on the right wants, we recognize that we have 7 times less population than China. We have 7 times less population than India. We have more landmass, more resources than both of those countries. We need people, but we need them, two things: to come in the right way and to love being Americans. We cannot bring people in here who hate us. That will destroy this country. So first requirement is they need to love
what denotes when somebody hates it? Because you guys on the right say every fucking body hates America. You say all the Democrats.
What? I'll tell you this. It's a very easy thing. Are you married?
No.
Okay. You date? You date around?
I ain't fucking gay. Yeah.
No.
Go ahead. Go ahead. What are you getting at?
So I'm married. 21 years I'm married, okay? I guarantee you that I don't have a picture of any former girlfriend or any possible dates on my side of the bed. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
It's all my wife. There isn't one woman other than my wife in my phone. And most of the time that includes my kids, which are all females. I am all Tracy Altman all the time, okay? If you come into this country flying another nation's flag, rooting for another nation's sports teams, doing all this, you can't. No, we don't
rooting for another nation's sports teams?
We don't do that. You do not root against the United States.
Oh my
Olympics,
God!
World Cup. No, sir.
And yet you want to brag that we have more freedom of speech than Canada and the UK. Talking like that. I gotta go. I have gotta go. Thank you for coming through Straight Talk.
Love you, bro.
Always.
Take it easy.
Always a pleasure. Real quick in the comments, I do want to thank a supporter, by the way. June Bug Lynn. Thank you very much for friend of the program. Thank you. Says, if we invade Greenland, we are no better than Vladimir Putin of Russia. I gotta agree with that. I gotta agree with that sentiment. Any dictator or despot can come up with an excuse for why they need to take over somebody else's country. Throughout history, they've all came up with reasons why they needed to conquer someone else's land. I actually agree with that. That if we invade Greenland, we are no better than Putin trying to reestablish the Soviet Union, or even Xi Jinping considering Taiwan. Anybody could come up with a reason for why they want to take somebody else's shit. Looking in the comments, sounds like this clown wants a dictatorship, says Frostbite. What the fuck is going on here, says Forbes C10? We're just having a conversation. So what if they called him that? What I said is still facts. I can call Trump God, doesn't mean it's right. A lot of folks do call Trump damn near the deity or God. Please get educated. Russia is Nazifying you. What do you say? You know, I think I know what you're saying is that Russia is trying to denazify Ukraine or something like that. They were trying to say that ain't a reason to attack somebody's nation. We got Nazis in this fucking country walking down the street talking about, Israelis will never replace us. And we got people in this country that favor the Third Reich. That ain't a reason to go and invade another nation and take them over like what Russia did with the Ukraine, or even attempt to do that. It's called channel stuffing. Create enough chaos everywhere so people forget what they need to be done. Yeah, that is what Steve Bannon referred to as flooding the zone. Trump is doing a good job at that. Trump is doing a really good job at that. Something different is happening so often that it is very difficult to focus on any given thing because there's so much going on at the same time. Let me go back to the box. It is crazy that people are mad that the United States protects people and Russia is killing so many. This came from my last caller. The reason people are angry about that, you're suggesting it's crazy that people are mad that the United States protects people and Russia is killing so many. It's because they don't agree with this sentiment. They don't believe that the United States is protecting. They don't look at the over 1 million Middle Easterners that died during the Iraq War as the United States protecting people. They don't look at us going into Vietnam back in the 60s and 70s as protecting people. So they don't look where, some folks, I would say Venezuela with Maduro may be an issue where some people now believe the United States did the right thing. But the United States has went into a whole lot of countries that people don't view that as protecting people. People view that as the United States doing something for its own best interest at the cost of the inhabitants in that country. Didn't Trump go against the United States women's soccer team? I'm not aware of that. Trump going against the U.S. women's soccer team. In what way was it? I think I know what you're talking about because they spoke out against him. I think I know what you're talking about. Miss Mo Better. Now, Miss Mo Better, you were called out by my last caller.
That was gonna be my first thing. Listen, when you call me out, you put a handle to my name. It's Miss Mo Better. Get it right with your bloviating ass.
No, yeah, he doesn't favor your commentary, I believe.
I know he don't, and you think I'm worried about that? Absolutely not. And it shows that you definitely paying attention when we speak. That's because we speaking some shit that you didn't know about.
Yeah. So 4 nations, 4 allies, Denmark, UK, France, and Germany have all put soldiers on the nation of Greenland, on that island, indicating they're ready to defy the United States. I'm asking a question simply put, is acquiring Greenland worth it if it means going up against our own allies?
No, because what are we really gaining out of it? Nothing.
Well, you're gaining the
It's more so
strategic.
for his ego, Tim. It's more for it makes him feel empowered. He wants to be like Putin. He wants to be like all of those other dictators. So he feel if they're doing it, I could do it too.
Well, but we would gain something. We would gain all of their natural resources. We would gain a strategic location that some suggest that both China and Russia wants to have access to. There is some gains in acquiring Greenland.
But I still say leave him alone. And those people don't want us over there. For him to keep saying that crooked talk, kept saying, oh well, the people of Greenland said they that's a lie and the truth ain't in them. They don't want us over there. We already got stuff over there. Like what's the problem with what we got over there now?
Yeah. Well, there are some citizens that were over there wearing MAGA hats and talking to JD Vance. And like I mentioned in my last caller, you can find citizens in any country. There are citizens in this country that
all over the world.
Yeah, that would be fine with somebody taking Trump out. I mean, you can find dissenting citizens anywhere.
And that's what I was saying before. Like you were saying how the people of Venezuela were celebrating and thanking Trump. Yeah, they're just like us. Like if that was to happen to us, you think people wouldn't be over here shooting off balloons and all kinds of stuff because they're happy if they come get his ass?
So you're saying if somebody came in this country militarily and took Trump out, there would be Americans shooting off balloons and celebrating?
Yep, they have a whole nother parade.
And I'm assuming you wouldn't be one of those, right?
You know how problem child after that leader of their school, that kid of their school left, that was terrible, the little tyrant. When he left, all the balloons went out the window. That's just how it will be here.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there are some
blue balloons.
There are some folks in this country that are really happy with Trump, and there's some people who are really unhappy.
Listen, this is the thing, Tim. He doesn't allow people to respect him or to follow him because he talks so nasty to people. And I keep telling you this, and this is for anybody that don't believe you. The power of life and death lies in the tongue. When once you say things, you can't take them back.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't mean to say it, you can't take them back. He makes enemies even right here in his own land.
I will agree that one of Trump's biggest detriments is his mouth. I think I always use the phrase, you can get more flies with honey than vinegar. A lot of times there's things Trump wanted to do that are considered controversial that he probably would have been able to do if he didn't talk to certain people like shit before trying to do it.
Yeah, he doesn't think because he really doesn't have that mental capacity. See, what he knows how to do is sell stuff. I could sell.
He's a good salesman. He is a good salesman.
You understand what I'm saying? So all you need is one or two people to buy it, and it makes him feel like he done reinvented the daggone wheel. So that one or two people is the MAGA cult. You know what I mean? They could see the proof. You can give them the source, and they still won't believe it. Like when you were somebody was reading something. I don't know if it was you on another MAGA live or something. You read stuff to them, and then they was like, "Well, you're reading it wrong."
Well, that's the whole. That's the
No, it
whole
wasn't
notion.
you. It was on another live. But I said, they can't be this obtuse.
Well, that's
They
the
can't
whole.
be.
That's the whole notion from Charlie Kirk. You're taking that out of context. That is a very common thing from the right. Is that you didn't hear what you thought you heard. You should listen. You should interpret it the way I'm telling you to interpret it. You're taking it out of
How I'm
context.
saying it is right.
Yeah.
They can hear it coming out of Trump's mouth, and then he didn't mean to say it that way. That's not what he meant.
Yeah.
Then they go speaking thoughts for him because they know again his mental. That's why he keep talking about my IQ this, my IQ that. If you think Einstein went around talking about his IQ?
Well,
No,
I'll tell you this. One of the
work to prove what his IQ was.
I'll tell you this. One of the things people used to ask me, because of the program I run, did you vote for Trump or would you vote for Trump? And I often said after his first term, I didn't think he was a bad president from his first term, certainly with the economy. But my main sticking point was that he promised to give police immunity from prosecution. I used to get hammered from the right, from MAGA, saying that he didn't, he was only talking about qualified immunity. He was not going to get police immunity. And I'm like, now that he's president again, he is literally telling ICE, you have immunity. He's doing exactly what he said.
He's causing mayhem. He's causing mayhem because they don't want to release those Epstein files. And Cedric, you shut your little bitch ass up. Now chicken peck that.
Well, you gotta.
Tell your wife to grow some hair. Take the hair off her pubic hairs and put it on her fucking head.
That sounds like an episode of Jackass where they actually did that. They stuck pubic hair to a guy. But real quick in the comments, Handsome Evil Fingers says, Tim, let Miss Mo Better know. I like how she said he's crooked talk. In regards to my last caller, Straight Talk.
Yeah, that's crooked talk.
So you do have a fan out there, but Straight Talk Commerce is, listen, he leans right, and some of my
But
viewers.
see the thing, but like you were saying, when you point out the hypocrisy to them, they'll say, "Oh no, that's not it. Oh no, that's not how that go. No, that's not what it was doing." You know what I'm saying? You pointed hypocrisy out to them in real time. We were all listening. He was like, "Come on, you can't get mad when the left do something and when the right do it just because it's in your favor. That it's all good now."
Yeah, and that's what I was.
The same thing Trump did with the elections being stolen. Now that you won. Now that you won, it's not a problem. There's no more fraud.
I really don't like that. Is that the things that they complained about that was so wrong that the left was doing, they're certainly totally okay with it as long as their side is doing it. And by the way, Straight Talk Commerce is in the comments. You bring out the worst in people. He wants to know, how much do you charge to lick windows?
Who said that?
Straight Talk Commerce.
If I did, it won't be in your trailer. Shut your ass up. Go somewhere and learn something. And stop getting up here lying.
Oh.
Find something else to do with your time. Go color or something. This is grown people talking now.
And real quick, Jermaine says Donald J. Trump, worst president ever, but a great con man. Do you see our commander in chief as a con man?
Don the Con. and that's always been his name. That's been his name before he even entered into the presidency. It didn't just start. See, a lot of people, most of us from New York, know who he was. You understand what I'm saying? That's why his numbers weren't that great in New York. So all of that they talking about, y'all go ahead and y'all continue to do y'all cult behavior. Just do it over there.
I think that Trump is probably the best salesman we've ever had in the White House. The guy could sell ice to igloos. To Eskimos, rather. I think the guy's really good at selling. This is why I was saying that Kamala Harris was a bad candidate. I don't think she sold herself very well. I think Trump
you said that she wasn't a bad candidate. It was just bad timing.
Come on. Bad timing.
Bad timing, Tim. Stop.
Hold on.
Stop. Her numbers, she had too much a high number, number one, and raised a hell of money. You can't tell me she was a bad candidate. And not all of those people were doing it just because they're against Trump. That is just far-fetched, Tim.
I think any liberal, Miss Mobetta, would have gotten at least as much votes as Kamala Harris did. I do believe most of the votes for Kamala Harris were anti-Trump votes. Most of the money donated to Kamala Harris.
A lot of them were. I give you that. A lot of them were, but not all of them. There was so many people that that actually rooting for her, that were actually listening to the things that she was projecting. We're not going to give all of that just because they were anti-Trump.
It's interesting you say. It's interesting you say that. It's interesting you say people were rooting for her. Notice the entire Democrat Party, for the most part, don't want her to run ever again.
Well, not now, because listen, they all scared now. They scared now. Oh, you were voting for that little nanny, that little pickaninny?
No, I think it's because she was when Trump lost, MAGA wanted him. When Trump lost, MAGA wanted him to run again because they liked the candidate. The Democrats don't want Kamala Harris to run again because they don't like the candidate.
Well, listen, now I'm going to give you that same thing back. Most of them voted for him because they are misogynistic. Most of them were racist, and the other one are homophobic. So let's go there then. If that's the case, they were anti all of those things and not really Kamala.
So you sound like my first caller, Sherbert. Do you really believe that MAGA is orchestrated primarily around, for the most part, a large hate group?
Yep. And it's been proven. You know why? Because when you try to have certain kind of conversations that, have to present facts and different things, then they pivot. Let me see if I can find you a good example of what I'm talking about. Let me see. They're eating the cats and dogs.
That is a statement for the ages. I personally will never forget him saying that they were eating cats and dogs. I will never forget
cats and
that.
Dogs.
Yeah.
Let me see another one where he put up that poll where they were saying the black people were 97% of the murders or something.
That's another one.
Remember
one.
that poll you put up?
Yeah.
You know, with Trump going around taking away DEI, they just affixed that just to black people, which white women are they inherited the most from DEI. Let's get that straight. With him wanting to go into the Smithsonian Museum and stuff and take away history on slavery and stuff, that we're talking about it too much. Now you got it to where he's saying white men were discriminated against more than anybody else.
He's definitely a pro white president. I don't disagree with that. He's definitely a pro white president.
Yeah. So he's full of cocky. Is what I'm. is my bottom line. He's full of cocky. And for anybody that don't know what that means, it's full of shit.
Full of cocky.
Sometimes it comes out in meetings. Farting on the mic and shit. What the hell?
Oh my God!
He around here giving people the finger because he don't like what they said. Like they keep talking about, oh, he's the tough guy, and he got the thinnest skin that you probably you shake his hand, you probably tear his skin.
Well, you would at least come back with some makeup on your hand. Handsome Evil Finger says, let's just face it. Kamala Harris won that presidential debate. Somehow we are stupid dogs and cats because we got an imaginary president in office. He's suggesting that Trump is going to be the most memorable president in our lifetime. We will never forget Trump.
He's going to be talked about for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what? But you know what the crazy thing is? So is Biden and Obama. The more they talk about Trump, they have to bring up Biden. They have to bring up Obama.
I disagree. I think Biden will go.
You full of shit. That's a whole fluffing moment.
Hear me out. I think Biden will go down in history equivalent to George H.W. Bush. I think Trump, with Biden being sandwiched in between two Trump terms, you're right. The only time Biden is going to come up is kind of like all lives matter. The only time you hear about it is when somebody says BLM. If nobody ever said BLM, nobody would ever say all lives matter. If nobody ever says Trump, you won't hear much about Biden in the future.
I get that, because that's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah.
As long as they talk about Trump, you're going to hear Obama, and Biden. You're going to hear it because they can't mention him without mentioning them because Trump has no substance. He has zero substance.
What do you mean by no substance?
He has no substance. He has no moral and stuff like that. So it's always going to be a comparison with him and somebody else.
It won't be Biden. I don't think, like I said, I don't think, maybe Obama. I think there may be comparisons between Trump and Obama, but I think Biden's presidency.
He can't hold the candle to Obama's foot. And that's exactly why he's always attacking him. He actually admires him. He admires Obama.
You think Trump admires Barack Obama?
He admires him. He just doesn't know how to put forth.
It's like saying
that's where the lack of substance comes because he doesn't even know how to communicate truthfully.
That's like saying
they talk about transparency. That he's about as transparent as my hoodie.
That's like saying I admire my baby mama. I don't believe he admires Obama. I don't believe it. I gotta move it on.
He wanted to be like him so bad. He wanted to be loved like him and stuff like that. And he found his niche. He's like, oh, see, when Obama ran, Obama was like a big rock that fell into a snake pit. They all start. When he got elected, all of those racist and hateful people started coming out because how dare we have a black man running this country?
But you do realize the only way Obama could have. You do realize the only way Obama could have won like that is for a hell of a lot of white people to support him, right?
Well, of course. Again, black people's only 14% of the population. Right. Of course he needed it.
So get white people some credit then. Don't make it sound like they're all racist.
I'm not saying all white people are like that.
Okay, all right.
But the ones that are MAGA are. And the ones that support Trump are. You're missing that part.
I didn't miss it. I heard it now. I just had to get clarity.
No. See, Obama, he didn't go around dividing the country. Even if with the other side not liking him, with all of the criticism and stuff, they tried to annihilate him over a lapel pin, over a tan suit, because he smoked a cigarette. But being outside kids, he only has one wife. They tried to call his wife a man. All of that. He has zero scandal. He has no arrest record. He ain't got none of that. Trump is jealous of that.
Ooh. I'll leave it at that, Miss Mobetta. You drive a hard bargain. You came through pretty hard today.
I like that. Tell me where I lied. I'm not expecting a MAGA not to. They're going to say everything I said was a lie. But
I'll tell you one thing.
Anything I said.
I'll tell you one thing. While we were conversing, I pissed off Smooth Bro. He said, this host fucked up with the give the white people some credit. Didn't like that.
Yeah, no, listen. Again, like we said, not all of the other side is racist and stuff, but all of the racists are on his side.
Ooh, I don't know if I totally agree with that, but I gotta go.
Okay.
We'll save it for next time. Thank you, Mr. Mobetta. Appreciate it. Real quick in the comments, tap the screen, by the way. Get us on up to 90,000. We can make that happen if you let your thumbs not be lazy. I seen in the comments, Buckeye said, what are you guys doing for Martin Luther King Day? I think that's Monday. He said he's going to be out target practice or shooting, target hunting or something like that. Hey, long as you're not shooting black people. Handsome Evil Finger says, Tim, you can't just get over it. He's having Biden happy moments. Also, he can't understand that Biden has more morals than Trump, just like Obama did. I don't even think MAGA believes that Trump is morally inept. I just think they believe that what Trump is doing is good for the country. And if you're leading the country in the right direction, we don't care if you skip over a few morals. That's the way I believe MAGA sees it. I mean, obviously Trump has had a bunch of wives and, affairs and things. I mean, I don't think MAGA sees him as my mom used to call a prayer book. Somebody that is really Mother Teresa straight and narrow. I don't even think MAGA sees him that way. But they do believe the direction that Trump is leading this country in is so significantly beneficial for this nation that they're willing to overlook that stuff. They're willing to turn a blind. And that's why I often say, and tap the screen, we'll take the next caller at 90. Tap the screen, let your thumbs not be lazy. That's why I often say, I don't think the Epstein files has any significant relevance with MAGA. With MAGA, I'm not talking about independents and certainly not Democrats, but with MAGA, I don't believe the Epstein files has much relevance, even if they were released in their entirety. For two reasons. One, I think the Epstein files are a 90-10 issue. Many of you have heard me describe this or elaborate on it, meaning that 90% of what Trump is doing is so beneficial to this nation that they're overlooked 10% of them that they may disagree with. 10% could be the Epstein files. So it's a 90-10 issue. So I don't think that even if the Epstein files were released in their entirety, it would make a big difference with MAGA. I said two reasons. The second reason being that if Trump says something happened, or if Trump says that they're accusing me of something that I didn't do, there's not many other entities, including media outlets or even government officials, that could tell MAGA the opposite and have them believe whoever that is over Trump. Point being, doesn't matter what's in the Epstein files. If Trump says I didn't do it, and you can't trust what you're reading, or that it is some kind of corrupt government entity releasing this stuff, most MAGA is going to side with Trump. So it doesn't matter what's in the Epstein files. They're going to believe Trump anyway. So that's why I do strongly believe that MAGA is strongly embedded with Trump, and the Epstein files are irrelevant. I mean, whatever comes out, Trump is just going to say it's not true, and MAGA is going to be on that side of the issue. Looking in the comments, who has the Nobel Prize? Not Trump. He is jelly, says me too. No, Trump officially has a Nobel Peace Prize now. It was gifted to him by the current head of Venezuela. So he does have a Nobel. Now, it wasn't gifted to him by the Nobel Peace Prize Committee, but one of the recipients gave him hers. The committee has already stated we don't acknowledge prizes. We don't acknowledge these things being transferred. But look, she's benefiting from it. She don't want to end up like Maduro. You can have his fucking medal. As long as you leave me where I'm at, you can have this damn medal. I understand what she's doing. I totally feel her. Tim, we wouldn't have this problem if we secured our border. Yes, we would, because under Obama, the deporter-in-chief, there was no outcry by the right of a porous border. Yet Trump took the Oval Office in 2016 and immediately said, I want to call for a total and complete ban on all Muslims entering the country. So even after Obama, he wanted to impose a huge ban on immigrants coming in the country from basically all of the Middle East, solely based on their religion. So Trump was going to be, this is what folks need to understand. Before I go to my next call, I think we're at 90. I'll just say this. For folks who would suggest Trump wouldn't be this tough on immigration if Biden wasn't letting everybody in, I think you kind of forget he was tough on immigration after Obama too. Trump wanted to be tough on immigration, period. You think he just developed the attitude that Somalia is a shithole on his second term? You think he didn't think they were eating cats and dogs in his first term? That stuff was already there. He just did not have the administration that was going to allow him to do it. He was already tough on immigration after Obama. He would have, all of the immigration policies you're seeing him imposing now, he would have been just as tough. Remember, he wanted to build a wall in his first term, and there was no major immigration issue. Obama was apparently deporting everybody, and he still wanted to build a wall. So his immigration policies were going to be there, whether Biden was in the middle or not. So let me go back to the box. Trump played on people's hate for immigrants, says A Boogie. I wish I could disagree or push back. Now brown immigrants have to pay a money deposit to get a travel visa. I think that Trump is on a path towards making it virtually impossible to come here if you're a brown immigrant. That's my opinion. I know some folks will disagree with that, but I do believe the way Trump is headed, being a brown immigrant is going to make it pretty hard to get into America going forward. Evil Mijibu, let Clinton name names. Trump ain't one of them. If Clinton names Trump, you're just not going to believe Clinton. If Clinton exonerates Trump, MAGA will believe that. See, Trump has nothing to do with it. If Clinton names Trump, then MAGA will just say Clinton is lying. So it doesn't matter what Clinton says. You already have your mind made up anyway. You can either agree with me or be lying. Evil Major Boo, good evening.
Evening, man.
4 countries.
How's it going?
So far, so good. But I do want to.
Yeah, right.
It ain't easy all the time, man. I'm gonna tell you. Some of you guys come through pretty hard. You guys take some pretty big swings. But 4 of our allies are now on the island of Greenland with troops. France, United Kingdom, Germany, and Denmark, all willing to resist the United States, apparently. So the question is taking Greenland worth the effort?
I would say, honestly, it is not easy taking. It is the Greenland. It's because Greenland is very strong, and I think it should be Norway and Greenland by itself.
Wait. You said Greenland is strong. Strong how? Strong militarily?
Yes, with what is that other yeah, it is with it's with the Norway. Yeah.
You believe Norway and Greenland are a formidable pair militarily?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
You're the first I've ever heard say that. I'm under the impression that Greenland, and I say this because I got a caller that regularly calls in that lives in Greenland. He's even admitted that they could not stop America really for 2 seconds if America tried to invade. You're the first I've ever heard suggest that Greenland is a strong military nation.
The reason why I say that is because Trump has no way of thinking. He is thinking with his penis. He's not thinking with his head.
What? What do you mean? Wait. What does this got to do with him? Explain. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Buckeye! Shout out to you. Thank you, Buckeye, with that graphic. Beautiful. What are you suggesting that Trump is thinking with his penis? What do you mean? Elaborate on that. I don't get where you're going with this.
All right, Trump wants to buy up territory. Territory. He wants to own everything. The reason why he is doing this is because his time is running out. He is getting sicker. He's not looking good and all of that. He wants to be made in the history books, just like what you said to Crooked Talk. He is saying, and it is true, it is true.
Straight talk commerce.
Everything that Trump is trying to really do, he wants to try to buy up as much land, and also he wants to try to
But let me ask you something, because I see in the comments, Buckeye brought up the Louisiana Purchase. What about the notion that if Trump does conquer Greenland and control Venezuela, he could ultimately, after Trump is gone, lead to America being a bigger representative country on earth and a more powerful nation? Could what Trump is doing ultimately make us a much bigger, stronger country?
I would say in some aspects 50% yes, but I would say 85% no.
Why you say no? Why no? Give me the 85% reason.
Because this nation used to be good, and it is no longer good anymore.
Good how? Because what we're doing to Greenland is how this nation was founded. Like when Buckeye brought up the Louisiana Purchase, the reason this country is so big is because we either purchased or colonize other people's land. I mean, that's kind of how the nation became what it is today.
Right, right. But you remember a long time ago, they used to say one nation under God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really see that anymore now. It's more of a dictatorship too, and it shouldn't have to be like that. Now, here's the other thing: all the proud boys and all them, they are nowhere in sight.
What are you getting? Are you suggesting that they're in law enforcement?
Yes, and they went to go and join ICE.
Before you continue, I want to ask that in the comments by way of yes or no, because I've heard you say that and I've heard others say that. By way of yes or no, how many folks out there believe Proud Boys, maybe Oath Keepers, groups like that are actually masquerading around this great nation as members of ICE? By way of yes or no in the comments, how many folks agree with my caller that ICE has Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, and many of the sorts amongst their ranks? I'm just curious. A lot of folks agree with you. Wow.
And Stone Cold Steve Austin said, "Give me a hell yeah."
A lot of folks agree with you. That's concerning though, because they do have a biased outlook on immigrants.
Yeah, but the thing is though, it is the truth. If you really look at it though, you don't see them anymore. You don't hear for them. They don't go out trying to cause hell and all this other type of stuff. Most of them are probably assigned to
Well, it ain't like you were hearing but it ain't like you were hearing a lot from the Oath Keepers or Proud Boys to begin with. I mean, obviously they became pretty well known during the January 6th protests, and then of course a lot of them were going down to the southern border under Biden to secure the border. But outside of that, and with Trump securing the border, there hasn't been a reason for them to come out. I mean, you haven't heard, but even before Trump started sending ICE all over the country, you weren't hearing from these groups.
Yeah, but I think that now is a point where, like, I think like since ICE has gone this far, we might have to be the rebels, and I think it's going to come to the point where we might have to actually try to shoot back or fight.
With ICE?
Yeah.
You think what ICE is doing is so egregious that we may have to get into a lethal battle with them?
If we can take out Darth Vader, if we have to come to the point where we have to take out, Trump or something, it's gonna have to come to that point. I don't want it to, and I hear you too, but it is just that I would say, as far as though, like, for white people and for the white supremacists, we have to come to the grips of that. If it is gonna take away their white supremacists or try to understand what other people are going through, it is gonna have to come to the point where they have to throw themselves in the line of fire so that we can come to the point.
I think what you're proposing is
enough though.
I think what you're proposing is a losing battle. I mean, not only is ICE heavily armed, but with President Trump at the helm, ICE would be given the authority to annihilate you, annihilate anybody that got no. I mean, Trump is already posting that they have immunity now, and the American public, for the most part, is not fighting with them. They're just protesting. I get Megan, or I get that Renee Nicole Good may have, committed a few crap, but for the most part, America is protesting nice. They're not fighting, and you see what Trump is doing just from protesting them. If you're talking about fighting them, Trump would give them the ability, give them the right to annihilate you.
Yeah, but it is coming to the point where we have to be, it's the resistance, though.
I want you to be wrong. I'm not for certain. I gotta move it on, but I want you to be wrong. That is about as scary as it comes.
Same here. Like I feel the same way, but in order to make our point super clear that this is absolutely wrong, somehow, some way, some person is gonna have to start trying to not like fight fire with the fire, but we
Okay, thank you. Yeah, what you're saying is, I hope you're wrong. I really hope you're wrong. I gotta move it on, Evil, but I really want you to be wrong, man, because you're gonna lose a lot of American blood on the streets if that happens. So please be wrong.
Hey. All right. Well, hey, just two more. Yeah. Hey, two more things. Here is the first thing. We need to try to establish where we can have a common type or it's a common type of a ground, and somehow we have to show the Trump administration that we mean business on when the midterms.
I like the second one, the common type ground. I'll talk about that on the other side. But Evil, thanks for coming through. And real quick, I'll say it's going to be difficult to establish a common ground for the simple fact that I don't believe Trump wants us to have a common ground. I think Trump has, I've said this before, for President Trump, our commander-in-chief, division is currency. It has been very beneficial to President Trump to have a divided nation. Therefore, it is not beneficial to Trump for us to unite. So I don't believe you're going to get us to come together on current. And I understand why he's doing it. I mean, he's an old dog, new tricks. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. President Trump is doing what has likely worked for him, even as a business mogul, his entire life. He's just doing it now as a president. But for President Trump, division is like currency. He's not a unifying kind of guy. By the way, thank you, Buckeye, for supporting the program. Hey, finally somebody showing your boys some love. You don't get a lot of galaxies and shit, so thank you, Buckeye 404, for that. This guy sounds like he's had a TBI talking about fighting. I'm going to leave that alone. You're talking about my last guest, talking about fighting Darth Vader. You know when you start shooting at our fathers, our husbands, when more half of the country has voted for this. I don't get the second half of your statement there, though. But I will tell you this: you're criticizing. Who did come from? Rebecca. When you're criticizing my last caller for, you say he sounds like he had his TBI because he's running off about Darth Vader. You do realize Trump does that shit. Starts talking about sharks and all kinds of crazy shit. I mean, our president does that. So just want to point that out. Fair is fair. Looking in the comments, that I might have to put on my spectacles to read this. That's that Shy Kid Dre. Okay, I got it. That Shy Kid Dre says, "Yo, I want to know, does this killing by ICE make you think differently? It has for me. I think it shows it's MAGA versus the left, not necessarily black and white." ICE is overwhelmingly favored by MAGA. I do agree with that. I think that plenty of folks wanted the border to be secure and illegals or undocumented residents to be out of this country that came here in large numbers under Joe Biden. However, there's a difference between defending our border and getting undocumented residents out of the country and having the mindset that ICE can do no wrong. I think there are some Democrats, plenty of independents, and traditional Republicans that favor not only securing the border, but getting many undocumented residents that have no legal right to be here out of the country. But when it comes to folks that believe ICE can do no wrong, that is overwhelmingly solely MAGA. So I do agree with your comment to some degree. MAGA's not going to have a problem with ICE. MAGA is going to follow Trump. And many are already suggesting that ICE is becoming Trump's personal law enforcement force. I'll leave it at that. I haven't seen enough to go that far yet, but President Trump literally taking to social media or his administration and telling ICE they have immunity in the middle of this shit, that is scary. That is scary. Because that tells ICE, don't worry about state governments or anybody trying to hold you accountable. If it ain't coming from me, don't worry about it. I got your back. That's the way I read into that. So President Trump taking to social media, J.D. Vance saying it on television, telling them they got immunity. That's bad news to me. That is actually bad news to me. Anyway, looking in the comments here, imagine paying $5 to say that. It's supporting the program. And I agree with what he said there. But Joe Biden should take them to his house. You know, if you want to suggest that Joe Biden should take all the illegal immigrants he let in the country to his home, you realize people could counter and say that Trump should let all of those felons he pardoned live in Mar-a-Lago. If you really want to hold people accountable for what they're doing, why does it stop at Biden? Trump is pardoning a lot of really bad guys. All of them have immunity or just the one that shot the girl. He wasn't talking about the one that shot the girl at all, Buckeye. He was talking about ICE, period. I wish I was in my normal settings because I would bring up it's a long post. I got it on this device, but I can't flip over. I would disconnect. But I actually have the note. But yeah, it's about 2 or 3 paragraphs long explaining to them that they have immunity. Anyway, going back to the box. We'll make it happen with Love to Cruise. Good evening. Welcome to the show. Fuck the gray aliens. What does that mean? Facts, Tim. Unfortunately, MAGA doesn't understand consistency. Well, MAGA understands Trump. My last guest didn't come up, so we will move it on. Does ICE go to Florida, where all the drugs are? Apparently, they're on their way there. I got a friend that lives in Tampa. He was originally a Trump supporter, but he has friends in the Hispanic community and was really upset about the Venezuelan boats and things like that. So my conversation with him over the years, I think he's starting to be more anti-MAGA. But anyway, he posted on his Facebook page today that there's a notification out there that ICE is coming to Florida. So apparently, listen, if ICE is doing their job, they're supposed to go where illegal immigrants are, right? There's plenty of them in Florida. Florida's not a sanctuary state, but that doesn't mean everybody there is documented and legal. So they should be in Florida. But my opinion, before I go to the next caller, is I don't believe ICE is solely going after illegal immigrants. I think they're going after immigrants, period. You don't have to be here illegally. You don't have to be undocumented. You still can get it. When Trump got rid of TPS, them folks were here legally. Now they're no longer legal. Here comes ICE. When Trump got rid of the asylum claims that people were making, they weren't here illegally. When he did that, they're now here illegally. Here comes ICE. He's even talking about getting rid of naturalization and green cards. So they're not just going after illegal immigrants. That is something coming from the right. You guys just want people to... No, he's going after plenty of folks that are here legally. So it's not just illegal immigrants. Looking in the comments, I'm in North Florida and ICE has been here all week. Says sure. Are they there in mass like they are in Minnesota? Are they going around demanding folks prove their citizenship? for no reason at all other than they just walked up and asked you. Mike, good evening. Welcome to the program. Scary time in America. It's definitely a different time, Ray the person. It is definitely a different time. Buckeye, shout out to you. If it wasn't for Buckeye today, man, thank you, Buckeye. Mike, good evening.
What's going on, Tim?
We're talking about four nations putting actual troops in Greenland. Is acquiring that nation worth it if it means potentially battling our allies? What say you?
No, it's not worth it. They just want the resources, and he wants to be a bully like the rest of his MAGA supporters. They're bullies. Now listen, they're bullies and they're mediocre.
Mediocre? How? What do you mean by
For
mediocre?
example, remember I've been telling you that they've been participation trophies. I told you that, right?
That Nobel Peace Prize is a participation trophy.
Exactly.
That's the definition. You didn't earn this. This bride gave this to you.
Exactly. Give me 30. Oh, give me 1 second.
All right, real quick. Billionaires running Americans now more than ever. True. That is true. Hateful racist caller, says Robert Kennedy. You ain't heard him speak yet, huh? You're going from his previous conversation. We already have troops in Greenland. We have military bases. Yes, but Trump stated that it's a big difference between being there and owning it. Trump says we need to own it because we would defend it and control it more efficiently. Mike, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
So when I said I've been calling them participation trophies for months now, and then he takes the Nobel Peace Prize that wasn't given to him. So they just continue to every day.
Let me interrupt you and ask you something. This is not totally on relevance, but I do want to ask you: has anybody ever referred to you as uppity? Robert Kennedy in the comments says I can't listen to this uppity caller. Have you ever been referred to as uppity, Mike?
Yeah, two and two. Well, what he wanted to say was his uppity nigga. That's what he wanted to say, but I'll say it for him. That's what he wanted to say. Because what about me is uppity? That I know what I'm talking about and I'm educated. That's what he wanted to say because I can actually have a conversation. See, they never should have let niggas read 100 years ago. That's what he wanted to say. But I'll finish it for you, my guy.
Damn.
Is that fair? Okay. All right. Got it.
All right. Continue.
So I want you to remember Straight Talk Commerce that came up here. I want you to know that what he said to you was exactly what their plan has been all along. Exactly what their plan has been all along.
Elaborate. What do you mean?
He now agrees everything that they whined about that the left was doing for 4 years. Everything. Now he's accepting.
Yeah. And he did admit that. That's very hypocritical that you complaining about a weaponized DOJ or you complaining about everything you're complaining about, you're totally okay with it if it's being done on your side for you, which shows then you don't have a problem with it.
You were a liar and you don't care about those things anyway. You care about, and by the way, all those things they were saying, the left wasn't even doing. The right and the Republicans have always owned the media, always.
Well, some of it has some validity. I mean, I think the 34 felonies that Trump has, when it really should probably be just one charge, they spread it out to make it look like all these felonies. Even some analysts on the left believe that was overstated.
Right, but was it the left that did it?
Alvin Bragg ain't exactly a Republican.
But again, Tim, if you go back and look at Alvin Bragg's record, if you go back and look at Letitia James' record, if you look at their records, they prosecute the cases in front of them, and they prosecute them.
I didn't say Letitia James, even though she did campaign on going after Trump. But I'm talking about Alvin Bragg. What he got Trump on should have been one conviction. 34
was the jury. All left. You understand what I'm saying?
You're going. Wait. Come on, Mike. You're going to select a jury from Manhattan, from New York. Yeah, the jury's probably going to be mostly. That's like selecting a jury from rural Alabama. It ain't going to be a lot of Democrats on that.
So where should the jury have come from?
I'm not arguing with the jury, though. I'm not arguing. I'm simply saying that Alvin Bragg made 34 felonies out of something that should have been one.
Tim, okay, fine, whatever the case may be, where should the jury have come from?
Where the crime was committed.
Okay, and that's what they
Only reason why we even brought up the jury is because you suggested it. The jury's not all Democrat. I'm like, they probably were.
Well, but here's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, it's funny how the right cries about everything when it happens. They cry about everything as if he's a victim. He put himself in all of those positions. He put himself in all of the positions, all of those indictments. That's fine. He put himself in all of those situations. And nobody, and you can say whatever you want. He put himself in all of those.
I don't disagree that him running his mouth and being boisterous probably brings more weight down on him than necessary. Like, for instance, I always use the example. You can get pulled over by a cop for speeding, but if you start talking shit and just calling the cop all kinds of names, you're probably going to get a ticket for low tire tread, and you may get one for your tints and your brake. I mean, they're just going to find other shit on you because they think you're an asshole. So I do believe that President Trump brings a lot of that on himself for deliberately insulting everybody.
Yeah, but even if that was the case, Tim, if he pulls you over and your tire pressure is low and all that, is he fucking with you? Yes. Is your tire pressure low? Yes. Right, if that's the case. Now, I'm far be it for me to give officers any credit for any of that shit, because we also know how it goes. But the idea that he's somehow been persecuted unfairly is absurd. It's just fucking absurd.
Bro, I'll tell you it is. This is on the ticker right now. I got CNN on the background. Trump, it says Trump convinced himself to hold off on the Iran strikes for now. So it makes it clear that he chose not to strike Iran, and he could have done it unilaterally.
Bullshit. Bullshit. But Tim, all they do is lie. I mean, all they do is lie. Let me give an example. Straight Talk always talks about how weak China is. Damn, they're weak. They got these small weapons, and Russia, they're weak. And if they're so weak, why are we worried about it?
That's a great point.
If they're so weak, can't he just tell them, don't fucking touch anything, and they'll leave it at Greenland alone?
That's a great point.
If he's so powerful, that's because it's not about that. This is about resources. That's why. That's right.
So you believe that the sole goal is to pilferage what the country of Greenland is worth, just to steal their shit.
And you're goddamn right. That's what they all do. That's what they always do. And it's not me saying it. History says it. Again, if we are so powerful, why can't he just tell those countries just to back the fuck off? Yeah.
Speaking of stealing resources, did you hear that the Trump administration, they were seizing these boats off the coast of Venezuela? They sold one for $500 million. All of the oil, they don't sold one.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine that.
Where do you think the money's going to go? You think us Americans, taxpayers, are going to see a tax break or something? $500 million.
Absolutely not. See, Buckeye. Listen, Buckeye. So where you're wrong, I'm picking up food from one of my restaurants. You fucking idiot. See, that's why they call me up.
Be kind to Buckeye. But $500 million. We sold a Venezuelan boat full of crude. $500 million.
And where do you think that's going to go? You think we're going to see that money?
Well, I'll tell you, that's an interesting question, because Trump, when he does something well, you normally hear him bragging. You notice you don't hear him bragging about, I got us $500 million.
Because you're not going to see $500 million. And by the way, all that money that they're supposed to be collecting, ain't none of us going to see it. Motherfuckers going to be just broke as they were yesterday, or as rich as they were yesterday. And if you're in the 1%, you're just going to get richer. They have no plan for this money to come back to the American people. They just don't, Tim.
So what is it? What are you suggesting? Is one big grift or something?
I told you that from the beginning. The fleecing of America on the level we've never seen before. That's what's going to happen. And even if he stays, just say, for example, they don't get to do all of Project 2025, and it doesn't turn out as bad as far as laws and immigration and deportations and all that. Say all that's not as bad. We will have a deficit that our children's children will still be doing. They're going to flee so much out of here. By the time you repair it, the money, if you think he's taking money, how much is it going to cost to fix it?
It could be interesting. I mean, absolutely. I mean, I don't know. What about the notion that maybe a better yet, a future administration can demand some of this money come back? Let's say, for instance, there's tons of money in the hands of Trump's family or Trump's minions and associates. Can they not go after some of this shit?
They can, but good luck with that. And by the time they get that money, will be, again, Tim, there's going to be trillions of dollars missing.
Wow.
By the time this is done. Trillions of dollars missing before this is done.
Kind of makes me wish I hung around Trump. I could be a few million richer. Shit.
No, you wouldn't be a few million richer. You'd be carrying the water and getting the fruit or some shit. Nigga, don't. But you keep on trusting these people all you want.
Well, I'm hearing ICE, 50 grand just to join ICE. You wouldn't take 50?
Nope.
I mean, there's a lot of money.
It ain't enough. You couldn't give me enough money to hurt my own people, black and brown people. There's not enough money.
And I see Popel in the comments says, Tim is a good boy. What is he suggesting?
I'm not gonna say it, Tim. You know what he's suggesting.
What the hell is he trying to suggest? Is he suggesting I'm like Django or something? What the hell is he suggesting?
Pretty much.
That's awful.
Calvin!
I'm gonna leave it at that. Anyway, I gotta cut it short because I'm out here in Sin City and I'm gonna have to go to a show soon. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, no. Text me because I want to see what kind of tickets you got. And I got a couple of my restaurant spots in there. I want to turn you on to.
Roger that, Mike. Thanks.
Later.
All right, moving on with the show real quick. I'm gonna wrap it up shortly because I am out here in Sin City and I got an appointment to make. Hurt your own people, they hurt themselves. Well, I get there's black on black crime. I think that's what you're alluding to. But what ICE is doing to black and brown people, if you join ICE, he's saying that by joining ICE, you are hurting your own people as well. ICE is not operating in the best interest of black and brown people. I'm going to straight up tell you that. I don't believe that ICE is operating. I don't believe that anything they're doing is going to benefit black and brown people. I don't think black and brown people were really that. I don't think they were placed at really much of a detriment by the illegal immigration problem to begin with. I mean, think about how many folks have been deported out of this country since Trump took office. A million or whatever number he's giving you, plus the self-deportations, people who just said, fuck it, I'll leave. Have you seen the job market blow up? Remember, they were holding down black jobs, remember? Have you seen the job market blow up in the black community? All of a sudden, there's a bunch of jobs out there? No. So I don't believe that what was going on with the illegal immigration problem in this country, and I'm not saying there was not an illegal immigration problem. I'm just simply saying I don't believe illegal immigration was really affecting most of the communities in this country. As one of my guests pointed out, you hurt your own people. I think black on black crime is a much bigger issue for the black community than being harmed by an illegal. I don't think there's a whole lot of Lincoln Rileys out there. Most of the people that if you're going to be victimized by somebody, it's probably somebody that look like you. If you're black, you live in the hood, it's probably going to be another black person. It ain't going to be an illegal immigrant. If you're white, it's probably going to be another white person. It's not going to be an illegal immigrant. You are at far greater danger from people that look just like you than someone who came into this country on an undocumented or illegal status. They're not coming to this country to murder. I get that Trump is suggesting that they're rapists and murderers, but I strongly push back on it. I don't believe most of them are coming here to do harm to American citizens. However, as I stated earlier in the life, for President Trump, division is currency. So it is working to his benefit to suggest and get individuals to believe that these folks are a great danger to the American population. It has been very beneficial to him. So I understand why he's doing it. I just vehemently disagree that it has any truth to it. We have a murder rate in every state in this country. Most of that is not being done by illegal immigrants. The best argument to be made, well, one is too many. But that ain't what he's telling us. He's not telling us. He's making it sound like they're going all over the country murdering every damn body. That they're committing widespread rapes. It's just not true. Anyway, looking in the comments, this economy is about to go crazy. Robert Kennedy, is that good or bad crazy, though? That could be either way. 11,000 new jobs in my area. Is that from a particular plant? Where are these jobs coming from? Chadwick, 11,000 jobs here. You had 50 grand, but if they get in trouble or they quit, they have to give all the money back. Well, how long do they have to work before the 50 grand is locked in? You're talking about ICE. How long do you have to? That applies to any career, by the way. You know, you want to be you can get your school paid for if you come out and become a doctor for this hospital. But you have to be a doctor for 2 years for it. I mean, any job that offers you some kind of bonus, you got to commit for a certain period of time. So that's kind of normal. There are 1.7 million people without jobs. I'll just tell you this: under Trump, it's been an administration of termination. I mean, starting out with Elon Musk and Doge, they've been firing people since day one. I don't know why anybody would believe that job numbers under Trump should be positive. Have you heard of any industry hiring a bunch of people? You've heard of tons of people getting fired all over the damn place. Seemingly you would expect his job numbers to be dismal. Now, that's not to suggest his tariffs or what he's doing overseas may not ultimately bring jobs to the country. I believe that is what he is touting as something that is going to happen in the future. But he said things are going to happen before that didn't happen. But in terms of where we stand right now, there is no indication that Trump should have good job numbers right now. None whatsoever. All he's been doing is firing people. So if jobs come in, that is something that will happen in the future. But for right now, Trump's job numbers are actually so bad, he don't want you to even know about them. Anyone that gives you those job numbers is likely to lose their job themselves because he doesn't want that coming out. So I appreciate you folks tuning in. 105,000. As I indicated, I'm in Sin City. I got a show to go attend. We'll certainly be back here. As always, if you enjoy this type of dialogue from all sides of the aisle, follow the program if you're watching us currently on TikTok. Give your boy a sub if you're watching on YouTube. Until then, I'll catch you guys later. Take care and have a good night. It's your boy Tim, Sin City. I'm out.